Chief Prince Yeriel ben Yissachar. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah.
First and foremost, as always, we give all honor, praise to the Creator of heaven and earth, the God of our fathers, Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the one who gives us everything and the ones who keep things away from us. Amen. Sickness, disease. Amen. So we say Torah YAH. And to my family here and my family online, I say Shabbat Shalom. Shabbat Shalom. Ellie, you did a great job, bro. That's what studying is all about.
Yes, sir.
And as all the teachers who come up here say, that we usually have to prepare ourselves for these lessons, and so we can put forth the best teaching that we can do. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to study that much, so we might have a problem with me, but we get through it. It's been a rough week here, My wife left me, so if any of y'all see her, tell her please come home. Tell her I miss her, man. Tell her I'm sorry. Whatever I did, I'm sorry. It was a rough week. I had to do some running around, So you get the understanding on how the other half, moves when you got to switch positions.
Yes, sir.
I'm the one usually out there partying somewhere, but we're going to let that go. All right. But how was y'all week? Everybody good. We looking good. We look healthy. Like the brother's been saying, it's a lot of things going on out here. And, this month was a month where, they did the breast cancer awareness, so we salute them for, the walks and the raising of money and the things they did, because that was very important.
That's right.
But then we come to the closing of this month where we have another one of them folly days. We have this Halloween thing coming up, and we already got people running around with masks on doing things. So now if you get to put a bigger mask on, and so we just pray that the Most High keep us safe, and we definitely have to be careful, watch our surroundings.
That's right. And
watch the places we go, because certain places you let them have that. So right now we're gonna get into the book of Genesis. We starting back at the beginning, y'all. So every time we start at the beginning, something new comes to mind here. So we're going to go to Genesis chapter 18. We're going to start at verse 1.
Hallelujah. Hallelujah. And Yahweh appeared unto him by the terebinths of Mamre, as he sat in the tent door in the heat of the day. And he lifted up his eyes and looked, and lo, 3 men stood over against him. And when he saw them, he ran to meet them from the tent door and bowed down to the earth and said, My Lord, if now I have found favor in thy sight, pass not away, I pray thee, from thy servant.
Okay, and as we've learned through our lives in Israel, that we have to learn the hospitality of Abraham.
Right.
And this was the hospitality of the godly people. And when you sit at your tent door, because when you've been blessed, you have to learn how to pay forward. You have to, you look forward to helping somebody else the way you've been helped. So with this, he's sitting around, he was waiting for the passerby, so he sees some godly men. So he calls them, and the first thing he said is come here, come into my tent. Come over here. Come shoot.
Let now a little water be fetched, and wash your feet, and recline yourselves under the tree. And I'll fetch a morsel of bread, and stay ye your heart. After that, ye shall pass on. For as much as ye are come to your servant. And they said, So do as thou hast said.
Okay, another custom. Now, back in our land, or in that land, we had sandals. We didn't have the shoes and all that. Right. So it was a custom. As the Most High always, you wash your hands, you wash your feet, you clean yourself. Ima never let you go in the kitchen. That's coming straight out the street. You had to go in the bathroom, wash your hands, come out of them clothes if they dirty or whatever from playing in the street. So this was a custom that our ancient fathers did. Come see.
And Abraham hastened into the tent unto Sarah and said, Make ready quickly 3 measures of fine meal, knead it, and make cakes.
Okay, so again, we can see that our forefather and our Imam had a relationship, you know, because some people, you know, you go in the house and, hey, make some cakes. For what? I don't know these guys. I don't know these characters.
Why?
You know, but the relationship was, I mean, two don't walk together unless they agree. So they had an agree, you know, they knew each other. So when he said that, it wasn't no back and forth.
No, sir.
Come shoot.
And Abraham ran unto the herd and fetched the calf tender and good, and gave it unto the servant, and he hastened to dress it. And he took curd and milk and the calf which he had dressed, and set it before them. And he stood by them under the tree, and they did eat.
Again, we get people who go into this book and they try to make up stuff like you can't eat meat with the cheese. And I like a cheeseburger, but
Me too.
yeah, certain people. But it shows here that the milk and the cheese, the milk and the meat and all that went together.
Yep.
It was, you know, this wasn't no thing where you gotta wait 24 hours or whatever to have the milk and the cheese.
And they said unto him, Where is Sarah thy wife? And he said, Behold, in the tent. And he said, I will certainly return unto thee when the season cometh round. And lo, Sarah thy wife shall have a son. And Sarah heard in the tent door which was behind him. Now Abraham and Sarah were old and well stricken in age. It had ceased to be with Sarah after the man of women. And Sarah laughed within herself, saying, After I am waxed old, shall I have pleasure, my Lord, being old also? And Jehovah said unto Abraham, Wherefore did Sarah laugh, saying, Shall I of a surety bear a child who am old? Is anything too hard for Jehovah? At the set time I will return unto thee, when the season cometh round, and Sarah shall have a son. Then Sarah denied, saying, I laughed not, for she was afraid. And he said, Nay, but thou didst laugh.
She said, I laughed not, because as it says here, she laughed within.
Right.
So she feeling like the most, you know, Most High don't. No, she not feeling like that because she know God knows everything. But sometimes in your fear,
right,
you try to deny things. So go to Psalms 19:15.
Psalms 19:15. Let the words of my mouth and the meditation of my heart be acceptable before thee, O Yehovah, my rock and my redeemer.
It says the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart,
right,
or my mind. So that means we have to be careful even with the things that we think.
Yep.
Because the Most High, he reads minds.
That's right.
We can be sitting here smiling with each other, but in your mind, I can't stand her. I can't stand him. You know, and the Most High hears these things, and the Most High, he sees this stuff. So when we out there, we have to be careful what we thinking. We got to be careful of these things that go through our mind. I mean, sometimes a thought just come out, and you can't shake it. But for the most part, you have to, you know, you have to be conscious about your thoughts, because the Most High hears your words when you praying and your mind. You could be praying and like, I don't, you know, he hears all of this. So we have to be careful. So she says, and Sarah laughed within herself after I am waxed old, because it's not seemingly that at a certain age a woman would have a baby. So she's just thinking a normal thought. At 90, and my husband being old too,
right?
As Ellie just did in his portion. As the other lady, she was like, "Nay, my Lord, my husband's waxed old now." You know, so, but we have to be, again, thoughtful of the mindset we have.
Right.
Come, she.
Verse 16. And the men rose up from thence and looked out towards Sodom, and Abraham went with them to bring them on the way. And Jehovah said, Shall I hide from Abraham that which I am doing, seeing that Abraham shall surely become a great and mighty nation, and all the nations of the earth shall be blessed in him? For I have known him to the end that he may command his children and his household after him, that they may keep the way of Jehovah, to do righteousness and justice, to the end that Jehovah may bring upon Abraham that which he hath spoken of him.
Okay, so the Most High, knowing all things, he said, I can't hold this back from Abraham. I already know his heart. I know what he's going to do. I know he's going to follow my ways. I know he's going to go after me and also teach his children to do so.
Right.
So this thing, I'm going to bring it to him because, again, we got a family member involved, as we're going to see later on. Come see.
And Jehovah said it, Verily the cry of Sodom and Gomorrah is great, and verily their sin is exceeding grievous. I will go down now, and see whether they have done altogether according to the cry of it, which is come unto me, and if not, I will know. And the men turned from thence, and went towards Sodom. But Abraham stood yet before Jehovah. And Abraham drew near and said, Wilt thou indeed sweep away the righteous with the wicked? Peradventure there are 50 righteous within the city. Wilt thou indeed sweep away and not forgive the place for the 50 righteous that are therein? That be far from thee to do after this manner, to slay the righteous with the wicked, that so the righteous should be as the wicked. That be far from thee, shall not the judge of all the earth do justly?
Okay, and again, Abraham being a just and a godly man,
Right.
and as my brother Chief Mekabadi would say, when you talk to God, you got to talk to him and ask him for what you want.
That's right.
You can't always just do a vague prayer. If you got situations in your life,
That's right.
talk to God directly about
right.
your situation.
Exactly.
And pray that he will get you out of it. So this is what this man is doing. In his humblest way, he's coming before the Most High. Because again, as I'm keep saying, he had a family member involved.
That's right.
So he's pleading not for himself, but for his nephew. Come see.
And Jehovah said, If I find Sodom 50 righteous within the city, then I will forgive all the place for their sake. And Abraham answered and said, Behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto Jehovah, who am but dust and ashes. Peradventure, there shall lack 5 of the 50 righteous. Wilt thou destroy all the city for the lack of 5? And he said, I will not destroy it, if I find there 40 and 5. And he spoke unto him yet again and said, Peradventure, there shall be 40 found there. And he said, I will not do it for the 40's sake. And he said, Oh, let not Jehovah be angry, and I will speak. Peradventure there shall be 30 found there. And he said, I will not do it if I find 30 there. And he said, Behold now, I have taken upon me to speak unto Jehovah. Peradventure there shall be 20 found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for the 20's sake. And he said, Oh, let not Jehovah be angry, and I will speak yet but this once. Peradventure 10 shall be found there. And he said, I will not destroy it for the 10's sake.
Listen, obviously, Abraham knew how wicked this place was. Word gets around. Even if he hadn't been there, he knew that there was some real snakes there. So he tried to bargain as low as he can get without, like angering the Most High, but he's still pleading. The Most High knows his heart. He's pleading for his family. So he know that Lot is there with his wife. So he's trying to bargain the best bargain he can get to save them. Come see.
And Jehovah went his way as soon as he left off speaking to Abraham, and Abraham returned unto his place.
And after you do that, all you can do is wait.
That's
you can
right.
sit back. You pleaded your case to the Most High. You asked him for what you specifically want, and then you sit back and you wait.
There you go.
Come see.
Chapter 19. And the 2 angels came to Sodom at even, and Lot in the gate of Sodom, and sat in the gate of Sodom. And Lot saw them, and rose up to meet them. And he fell down on his face to the earth. And he said, Behold now, my lord, turn aside, I pray you, into your servant's house, and tarry all night and wash your feet, and ye shall rise up early and go on your way. And they said, Nay, but we will abide in a broad place all night.
Okay, again, Lot was with Abraham many years, so obviously he took on the customs. He know the custom, and you can almost spot a person and the way they look or whatever. They got that certain glow. So he's stepping them. He know how the city is too. So he said, look, don't stay out here. Come into your servant's house, and again wash your feet, and I'll feed you something. But they not agreeing in this time. Come shoot.
And he urged them greatly, and they turned in unto him, and entered into his house, and he made them a feast, and did bake unleavened bread, and they did eat. But before they lay down, the men of the city, even the men of Sodom, compassed the house round, both young and old, all the people from every quarter. And they called unto Lot, and said unto him, Where are the men that came in unto thee this night? Bring them out unto us, that we may know them.
Okay, my brother gave me instructions before I came out here not to do the Dave Chappelle on these guys, so. Because the alphabet people, they listening. So, but y'all know how Dave Chappelle got down on these sodomites. But the alphabet police is definitely out there. So, but the men came into the city, and when somebody comes into the city, especially if they come into your house, under your roof, you have to protect them.
Right.
So that's what he's trying to do. But these guys is persistent. Like, bring them guys out so we can know them.
Right.
Come see.
And Lot went out unto them to the door and shut the door after him. And he said, I pray you, my brethren, do not so wickedly. Behold now, I have 2 daughters that have not known men. Let me, I pray you, bring them out unto you, and do you to them as is good in your eyes. Only unto these men do nothing, for as much as they are come under the shadow of my roof.
No.
And they said, stand back. And they said, this one fellow came into sojourn, and he will needs play the judge. Now will we deal worse with thee than with them? And they pressed sore upon the man, even Lot, and drew near to break the door.
Okay, so something they seen in Lot, they gave him a pass.
Right.
They said, you came through here, and we ain't even press you. We let you live. We let you, just move around. But now you want to block these other guys?
Yeah.
They said, you taking too much upon yourself.
That's right.
But look, for whatever, the guys came into his house, and he wanted to offer up his 2 daughters rather than these guys.
Right.
It was something in there. Come shoot.
But the men put forth their hand and brought Lot into the house to them, and the door they shut. And they smote the men that were at the door of the house with blindness, both small and great, so that they wearied themselves to find the door. And the men said unto Lot, hast thou here any besides son-in-law and thy sons and thy daughters, and whomsoever thou hast in the city? Bring them out of the place, for we will destroy this place, because the cry of them is waxed great before Yahuwah, and Yahuwah hath sent us to destroy it. And Lot went out and spoke unto his sons-in-law who married his daughters, and said, up, get you out of this place, for Yahuwah will destroy the city. But he seemed unto his sons-in-law as one that jested.
He said he seemed to him that one that jested.
Yeah.
Sometimes people, they get accustomed to the area they're at, and so Lot trying to tell them, look, we got to get up out of here. But they like, man, we like this place, So, but it said the men stuck out their hand, and they blinded these guys that they couldn't even find a way to the door.
Right.
Because they seen what the Most High has seen, the wickedness of this place. So they telling him, let's get up out of here, because we can't destroy it until you leave. Because as the Most High made the promise with Abraham, he never goes back on his word. So rather than not destroy the place, just take them out, and then we handle our business. Come shoot.
And when the morning arose, then the angels hastened Lot, saying, arise, take thy wife and thy 2 daughters that are here, lest thou be swept away in the iniquity of the city. But he lingered, and the men laid hold upon his hand, and upon the hand of his wife, and upon the hand of his 2 daughters, Jehovah being merciful unto him. And they brought him forth and set him without the city. And it came to pass, when they had brought them forth abroad, that he said, escape for thy life, look not behind thee, neither stay thou in all the plain. Escape to the mountain, lest thou be swept away.
Instructions we're going to see in a minute are very, very important.
That's right.
When you're getting instructed on what to do, you have to go do it by the letter.
Exactly.
Come shoot.
And Lot said unto them, oh, not so, my Lord. Behold, now thy servant hath found grace in thy sight, and thou hast magnified thy mercy, which thou hast shown unto me in saving my life. And I cannot escape to the mountain, lest the evil overtake me and I die. Behold now, this city is near to flee unto. It is a little one. Oh, let me escape thither. Is it not a little one? And my soul shall live. And he said unto him, see, I have accepted thee concerning this thing also, that I will not overthrow the city of which thou hast spoken. Hasten thou, escape thither, for I cannot do anything till thou become thither. Therefore the name of the city was called Zoar. Okay, again, obviously, Lot also have found favor in the Most High's eyes. Or sometimes you can do stuff so good that it helps others, it helps your family. The Most High say, nah, I'm not gonna hurt this boy, even though your son may be evil or whatever. Say, because it's gonna kill his father. So it just be for your sake that things go. So that means we all have to be mindful of what we're doing, and not just for selfish reasons, but we make it help others. That's why when we stand and pray, we don't know whose voice the Most High is going to hear. So when we read these prayers, we need full participation, but because it might be for you that help us. Come shoot. The sun was risen upon Verse 23. The sun was risen upon the earth when Lot came unto Zoar. Then Yahweh caused the rain upon Sodom and upon Gomorrah brimstone and fire from Yahweh out of heaven. And he overthrew those cities and all the plain, and all the inhabitants of the cities, and that which grew upon the ground. But his wife looked back from behind him, and she became a pillar of salt.
Again, instructions.
Right.
Instructions are very, very important. And sometimes we hear stuff, but we don't listen as well as we hear.
Right.
Because you was told not to look back. So sometimes we want to just, like people in around say, oh, that's just the little sin.
Right.
That's the little law. I can break that law. The ZC thing, how important can the ZCs be? But the instructions say, put the fringes on the four corners of your garment. And as I used to say, as I tell a little story about the cop story, most of y'all may have heard it.
Tell it again.
Okay, I'm going to tell it again. Okay. Now, the police officer pulled the man over. He said, listen, you ran the stop sign. He said, no, I ain't run the stop sign, officer. He said, I'm telling you, you ran the stop sign. And he give him a ticket. He said, officer, I didn't run the stop sign. I slowed down. I looked both ways, and it was clear. So he said, you slowed down? He said, okay. He took out his baton, and he started hitting him in his head. Boom, 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 boom. So he said, now what you want me to do? Slow down or stop? now you busting somebody's head, and you say, okay, just slow down. You're still getting hit in your head. So it's a difference.
Right.
And you got to follow instructions. The sign say stop. You stop. You don't just slow down and cruise. You stop. That's instructions. So we got to learn to follow instructions. We got to read this stuff and go to the letter.
Right.
Country.
Verse 27. And Abraham got up early in the morning to the place where he had stood before Yahweh. And he looked out toward Sodom and Gomorrah and toward all the land of the plain, and behold, and lo, the smoke of the land went up as the smoke of a furnace. And it came to pass, when God destroyed the cities of the plain, that Yah remembered Abraham and sent Lot out of the midst of the overthrow, when he overthrew the cities in which Lot dwelt.
Who did he remember?
Abraham.
They didn't say he remembered Lot.
Right.
But for Abraham's sake, he saved a family member. He said, and it came to pass when God destroyed the city of the plain that God remembered Abraham. So again, people, we got to do stuff to not only help ourselves, but if you got money in the bank, maybe you can pay somebody else's bills. Comes.
And Lot went up out of Zoar and dwelt in the mountain, and his two daughters with him. For he feared to dwell in Zoar, and he dwelt in a cave, he and his two daughters. And the firstborn said unto the younger, our father is old, and there is not a man in the earth to come in unto us after the man of all the earth. Come, let us make our father drink wine, and we will lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night. And the firstborn went in and lay with her father, and he knew not when she lay down, nor when she arose. And it came to pass on the morrow, that the firstborn said unto the younger, behold, I lay yesternight with my father. Let us make him drink wine with this night also. And go thou in and lie with him, that we may preserve seed of our father. And they made their father drink wine that night also. And the younger arose and lay with him, and he knew not when she lay down, nor when she arose. Thus were both the daughters of Lot with child by their fathers. And the firstborn bore a son and called his name Moab. The same was the father of the Moabites unto this day. And the younger she also bore a son and called his name Ben-Ami. The same is the father of the children of Ammon unto this day.
Okay, now, sometimes the mind is a terrible thing to waste, and it plays tricks on us. Yeah. So you left Zoar, right? And they got to be more men. But sometimes when you go off to yourself for a while, you're like, wow, this is it. It's just us.
It's just us.
And the mind, like I said, it plays tricks on you. So now they want to preserve life by having a seed with their Abba. Now also, as with Noah, this must be some good wine they had back in the days. This wine was high. You don't get this wine no more. And they went up to the cave country, and it was like a thing that they said a lot of the people back in them days kept their wine in the caves. So Lot found wine there, and they say they gave him wine, got him drunk, and lay with him. Come see.
Chapter 20. And Abraham journeyed from thence toward the land of the south, and dwelt between Kadesh and Shur, and he sojourned in Gerar. And Abraham said of Sarah his wife, She is my sister. And Abimelech king of Gerar sent and took Sarah. But Yah came to Abimelech in the dream of the night, and said unto him, Behold, thou shalt die, because of the woman whom thou hast taken, for she is a man's wife. Now Abimelech had not come near her. He said, Jehovah, wilt thou slay even a righteous nation? Said he not himself unto me, She is my sister? And she even herself said, He is my brother. In the simplicity of my heart, and the innocency of my hands have I done this.
Okay. And again, we knew customs. Back then, they had a thing where if that was your wife and they wanted your wife, they kill you. So they rather murder you than commit adultery.
Right.
So, and also, as they got these little sayings that people slept with Sarah, and we know that not to be true in this one.
Mm-hmm.
So he said, and it was his brother, his sister.
Right.
But not by the same mother, but by the same father. So he ain't lie. But also, my man pleading for his life. Mm-hmm. Most High come to you in a dream, and he said, look, in the simplicity.
That's right.
In my simplicity, the man told me it was his sister. Mm-hmm. My bad. You know what I'm saying? My bad. It says, okay. And God said unto him in a dream, okay.
And God said unto him in the dream, Yea, I know that in the simplicity of thy heart thou hast done this, and I also withheld thee from sinning against me. Mm-hmm. Therefore I suffer thee not to touch her.
Most High said, I stopped you from sinning against me.
Right.
So he said, I stopped you from going into her. Come, she.
Now therefore restore the man's wife, for he is a prophet, and he shall pray for thee, and thou shalt live. And if thou restore her not, know that thou shalt surely die, thou and all that are thine. And Abimelech rose early in the morning and called all his servants and told all these things in their ears. And the men were sore afraid.
That's the first order of business today. Is wake up early and handle this business. Because the Most High put a fear on him.
That's right.
And he said he's going to kill everything you got.
Yeah. Then Abimelech called Abraham, said unto him, What hast thou done unto us? And wherein have I sinned against thee, that thou hast brought on me and on my kingdom a great sin? Thou hast done deeds unto me that ought not to be done.
These people knew it. Like people in the street right now tell you, hey, ain't today Saturday? What are you doing out here?
Yeah.
What are you doing? What are you doing in that store? Coming out that store?
That's right.
Yeah, where your strings at? Hey, they don't do no law.
Yeah, but they know.
But they know. They know certain things. It comes straight to you. Mm-hmm. It's Friday night.
Yeah. What you doing out here?
Yeah, what you doing out here? Hey, I'm just going to my car. But they see, what are you doing? Huh? So we always have to be careful also. Where we go, who sees us doing what that we ain't supposed to be doing.
That's right.
Go ahead.
Verse 10. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, What sawest thou that thou hast done this thing? Right. And Abraham said, Because I thought, surely the fear of Yah is not in this place, and they will slay me for my wife's sake.
Listen, I know God ain't in this place. I'm a godly man, but certain places you go, you say, oh man, I'm gonna have to do some work in here. Yeah. So he said, I feel it. I know how y'all get down. You know, I know that y'all ain't got the fear of God in y'all, so I had to do this to save my life. Come she.
And moreover, she is indeed my sister, the daughter of my father, but not the daughter of my mother. And so she became my wife.
So I married her.
And it came to pass, when God caused me to wander from my father's house, that I said unto her, This is thy kindness which thou shalt show unto me. At every place whither we shall come, say of me, He is my brother. And Abimelech took sheep and oxen and men servants and women servants and gave them unto Abraham and restored him Sarah his wife. And Abimelech said, Behold, my land is before thee. Dwell where it pleaseth thee. And unto Sarah he said, Behold, I have given thy brother 1,000 pieces of silver. Behold, it is for thee a covering of the eyes to all that are with thee, and before all men thou art righted.
Okay, again, I'm going to give you a couple of that whole list. As a blinder, ain't nothing happened. You ain't got to remember this. We ain't got to talk about this more. Holy shekels.
Yeah.
And
it never happened.
Take your wife and be gone.
That's right. And Abraham prayed unto Yahweh, and Yahweh healed Abimelech and his wife, and his maidservants, and they bore children. For Yahweh had fast closed up all the wombs of the house of Abimelech because of Sarah, Abraham's wife. Chapter 21. And Yahweh remembered Sarah as he had said, and Yahweh did unto Sarah as he had spoken. And Sarah conceived and bore Abraham a son in his old age, at the set time of which Yah had spoken to him. And Abraham called the name of his son that was born unto him, whom Sarah bore to him, Isaac. And Abraham circumcised his son Isaac when he was 8 days old, as Yah commanded him. And Abraham was 100 years old when his son Isaac was born unto him. And Sarah said, God hath made laughter for me. Everyone that heareth will laugh on account of me. And she said, who would have said unto Abraham that Sarah should give children suck? For I have borne him a son in his old age.
Okay, and again, now the Most High gave them a set time, and now the set time has arrived. And they called it laughter because they remember what happened. They laughed within themselves, but Abraham laughed when he was told, and Sarah laughed when she heard it.
Right.
But the difference in their laughter, because you say, well, why God didn't go to Abraham when he left? He left with a confidence, not with a doubt. But even though Sarah didn't doubt the Most High, it was unseemly. So she gave a chuckle like, wow, I'm gonna have a baby at 90. This guy being 100. So yeah. So it seemed like a joke in her eyes. But again, as the Most High said, there's nothing too hard for him.
That's right. Verse 8. And the child grew and was weaned. And Abraham made a great feast on the day that Isaac was weaned. And Sarah saw the son of Hagar, the Egyptian, whom she had born unto Abraham, making sport. Wherefore she said unto Abraham, cast out this bondwoman and her son. For the son of this bondwoman shall not be heir with my son, even with Isaac.
Okay, again, now they weaned them. That usually comes after about 2 or 3 years. So now the brothers are out there playing.
Right.
And Ishmael is making sport of Isaac. We don't know what it is, but he probably teasing him and all of that. But Sarah sees that, and at the same time she knows that this is the older son, and she remember Hagar teasing her. Talking about, oh, you can't have child, and I'm gonna have your husband's child, and all that kept sticking in her head. So now she's telling Abraham, get rid of this guy.
Right.
I don't want him nowhere around my kids. I don't want him to have no hair here.
And that thing was very grievous in Abraham's sight on account of his son.
He still loved his son.
Right.
He loved his firstborn. He might not have had too much feelings for her, but even as the books say, if you don't have feelings for the mother of your firstborn, you still got to give your firstborn his rights.
That's right.
Shoot.
And God said unto Abraham, let it not be grievous in thy sight, because of the lad, and because of thy bondwoman, and all that Sarah saith unto thee, hearken unto her voice. For in Isaac shall seed be called to thee, and also of the son of the bondwoman will I make a nation, because he is thy seed. Because he is your seed, I'm going to do him all right too.
Right. Just, relax. Don't be too grieved. He's good, it's going to be good. But through Isaac shall your seed be made. Yisrael come.
Right. And Abraham arose up early in the morning and took bread and a bottle of water and gave it unto Hagar, putting it on her shoulder, and the child, and sent her away. And she departed and strayed in the wilderness of Be'er Sheba. And the water in the bottle was spent. And she cast the child under one of the shrubs. And she went and sat her down over against him a good way off, as it were a bow shot. For she said, let me not look upon the death of the child. And she sat over against him and lifted up her voice and wept. She cried out. That's her baby. Any mother would cry out for their baby. I don't know how far the next town was, but when you get one piece of bread and a bottle of water, you gotta sip it slow and take a bite and and keep it moving. But the water was spent, and you in desert land, you don't see no opening. So all she seen was her son dying, and she said, I'm gonna sit him way over here. I don't even want to see when he gasped his last breath. Verse 17. And God heard the voice of the lad, and the angel of God called to Hagar out of heaven and said unto her, what aileth thee, Hagar? Fear not, for God hath heard the voice of the lad where he is. Arise, lift up the lad, and hold him fast by thy hand, for I will make him a great nation. And God opened her eyes, and she saw a well of water. And she went and filled the bottle with water and gave the lad drink. And God was with the lad, and he grew. And he dwelt in the wilderness and became an archer. He dwelt in the wilderness of Paran, and his mother took him a wife out of the land of Egypt.
Okay, and God promised. He said, look, I'm going to make a great nation out of this guy also, because that's what I told Abraham I was going to do. So she said, fear not. And then she opened her eyes and see in the water, because she didn't see no way out. She didn't see where this was going. So now the Most High, he gave her a promise. So she went on. Come she.
And it came to pass at that time that Abimelech and Phicol, the captain of his host, spoke unto Abraham, saying, God is with thee in all that thou doest. Now therefore swear unto me here by God that thou wilt not deal falsely with me, nor with my son, nor with my son's son. But according to the kindness that I have done unto thee, thou shalt do unto me and unto the land wherein thou hast sojourned. All
right, again, Abimelech may not serve our God, but he know of our God, right. And he know the power that our God has. Amen. So now he's sitting back thinking, and he said, hold up, man. Let me go back over here to Abraham. Let me get some more prayers in and some more confidence that I'm good. Because sometimes people, you can say, yeah, this guy took my wife, and now you done built up. You got all of this stuff. So you got to pay back. So my man is making a surety. And in this thing, when he goes to, again, you can't be selfish. Right. He's saying, I want your word on me, my sons, and my sons' sons. Because sometimes cats tell you say, listen, as soon as he die, I'm going to kill his son. Yeah. Only reason you stay here is because of him. Yeah. Be like that. Yeah. Sometimes your pops get that, that juice and say, I want to do his son dirty, but can't do it for his sake. So he said, don't touch me, don't touch my son's son. Leave my whole generation, leave my family alone. Promise me.
And Abraham said, I will swear. And Abraham reproved Abimelech because of the well of water, which Abimelech's servants have violently taken away. And Abimelech said, I know now who have done this thing. Neither didst thou tell me, neither yet heard of it, but today. And
okay. Now sometimes your servants or your people do stuff you don't know nothing about. Yeah. And the cats come up to you and say, yo, man, you took my jewelry or whatever. Now I don't know nothing about that. This is the first I'm hearing about that. Yeah. So, you got to clear yourself on all that. Come see.
And Abraham took sheep and oxen and gave them unto Abimelech, and they two made a covenant. And Abraham set 7 ewe lambs of the flock by themselves. And Abimelech said unto Abraham, what mean these 7 ewe lambs which thou hast set by themselves? And he said, verily, these 7 ewe lambs shalt thou take of my hand, that it may be a witness unto me that I have digged this well. Wherefore that place was called Be'er-sheva, because they swore both of them.
Okay, they both swore at that well, about that well. So he gave him the 7 lambs. He said, look, this is my token to let you know that it was really my well. Come shoot.
So they made a covenant at Be'er-sheva, and Abimelech rose up and Phicol, the captain of his host, and they returned into the land of the Philistines. And Abraham planted a tamarisk tree in Be'er-sheva, and called there on the name of Yahweh, the everlasting God. And Abraham sojourned in the land of the Philistines many days.
Okay, so Abraham hung around. But you see, Abimelech, he got more courage. Now I can leave here because I heard the swear, and I know he's a man of his word. So I can leave here with the confidence that I'm good now. That's right. Because that's what you want. When you cut a deal with somebody, you want to make sure, listen, if we shake on this, don't go back on your word, man. You can't go back on your word.
That's right.
We did that. You can't go back. So this is what you want. They want to feel confident walking away from this.
Chapter 22. And it came to pass after these things that God did prove Abraham, and said unto him, Abraham, and he said, here am I. And he said, take now thy son, thine only son, whom thou lovest, even Isaac, and get thee into the land of Moriah, and offer him there for a burnt offering upon one of the mountains which I will tell thee of.
Okay, even the most righteous, even us that try to do the best in the eyes of the creator of heaven and earth get the test. We ain't gonna get the small test like these people out here. We ain't gonna get the the old the ham sandwich test is none of that. We're gonna get that hard test. We're gonna get that one that make you go, If I could do this just one time. I've been in this way 40 years. I've been trying to walk a good, I know my father with Shalom said there's no man that sinneth not. Right. But I've been weighing up myself, and I did more good than evil. And when you weigh yourself, then sometimes you just want to dibble and dabble. You want to just stick your toes in there. So, again, he had to get the test. Come see.
And Abraham rose early in the morning and saddled his ass and took 2 of his young men with him, and Yissachar his son. And he cleaved the wood for the burnt offering and rose up and went unto the place of which God had told him. On the 3rd day Abraham lifted up his eyes and saw the place afar off. And Abraham said unto his young men, Abide ye here with the ass, and I and the lad will go yonder, and we will worship and come back to you.
Okay, again, now he's so far, he's going with the test. He took his son, he took the two servants with him. And now, as when Moshe went up the mountain, okay, Joshua, you stay here. You don't go no further. Mm-hmm. I don't want no destruction. I don't want nothing to hinder me from doing my thing. So right. he felt like maybe the 2 servants seen him like going crazy. Like, they might try to stop him. So he said, y'all wait here. Me and the lad will go up, and we'll be back. Yeah, it's family business. Come shoot.
And Abraham took the wood of the burnt offering and laid it upon Isaac his son. And he took in his hand the fire and the knife, and they went both of them together. And Isaac spoke unto Abraham his father and said, My father. And he said, Here am I, my son. And he said, Behold, the fire and the wood, but where's the lamb for a burnt offering?
Sometimes we have to ask the hard questions. Yeah. You know what I mean? Some people don't like to ask the hard questions. But you see, and you're like, wow, I'll be getting up there in age too, I mean, he might just forgot something. We got the wood, we got the fire. Abba, what you gonna sacrifice here, guy? Hello. Yeah, so you got to ask the hard question. You looking at him, you're like, I was slipping a little bit, but I'm gonna help him here. Right. I'm here for him. Right. So, come sheep.
Verse 8, and Abraham said, God will provide himself the lamb for a burnt offering, my son. So they went both of them together, and they came to the place which God had told him of. And Abraham built the altar there and laid the wood in order and bound Isaac his son and laid him on the altar upon the wood. And Abraham stretched forth his hand and took the knife to slay his son. And the angel of Yahweh called unto him out of heaven and said, Abraham, Abraham. And he said, Here am I.
Listen, that's like the governor calling when you're on death row. That's a call you want to get.
Yeah.
When you sitting there, he about to pull that switch to electrocute you, and you see that red phone ring, you be like, oh, man. This is the call you want. And Abraham must have said that real quick. Here am I. He comes you.
And he said, Lay not thy hand upon the lad, neither do thou anything unto him. For now I know that thou art a God-fearing man, seeing thou hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, from me. And Abraham...
And he passed that test also.
Yep.
So the Most High watched you and he said, okay. He said, you good. You good. I know that you still serve me wholeheartedly.
Right.
Because I put that gold chain right there in front of you with that cross on it.
Yeah.
And you needed some bread real bad that day. And you looked at that thing glistening with the diamonds encrusted. You're like, listen, if I just grab this and run to the pawn shop real quick, kick it all the way to the pawn shop, I'll be good. Yeah. I didn't take it home with me, but you touched the devoted thing. But that was your test. We know how much you let go. I'm gonna give you that gold, that diamond thing, and then you want to try to take the chain off. Yeah. But you got to pass the test. Sometimes the test is just there for you.
Right.
Yeah.
Verse 13. And Abraham lifted up his eyes and looked, and behold, behind him a ram caught in the thicket by his horns. And Abraham went and took the ram and offered him up for a burnt offering instead of his son. And Abraham called the name of that place Adonai Yeriel, as it is said to this day, in the mount where Yahweh is seen. And the angel of Yahweh called unto Abraham a second time out of heaven and said, By myself have I sworn, saith Yahweh, because thou hast done this thing and hast not withheld thy son, thine only son, that in blessing I will bless thee, and in multiplying I will multiply thy seed as the stars of the heaven, and as the sand which is upon the seashore. And thy seed shall possess the gate of his enemies. And in thy seed shall all the nations of the earth be blessed, because thou hast hearkened unto my voice. So Abraham returned unto his young men, and they rose up and went together to Be'er-sheba, and Abraham dwelt at Be'er-sheba.
Okay, and again, sometimes the test, when you pass that test, the ram is right there in the thicket, as it says. You know, so we can't be too quick to
right.
just turn around or to give up.
That's right.
You know, because it could be right around the corner. And you like, man, I done walked all these way, and I don't see a store yet. But you know the baby need milk and all that. I'm just gonna go home, and the store is right around that corner. As soon as you hit the corner, you can see it. But if you give up too fast,
That's right.
So he said, now I know I can trust you. So now you good money, and we're gonna give you that rent money that you needed just because you didn't take the chain, You didn't fall for the bait,
Right.
And you get that call and say, hey, you ain't laid off no more. Come on back to work, and we got a bonus for you. So we have to go the long haul, even when it seems bleak.
Right.
You know, we can't give up. We can't be like these other people who say, oh, they say only if you're dying you can eat pork.
Nah.
Nah, that's a test. Come shoot. Who got
20. And it came to pass after these things that it was told Abraham, saying, Behold, Milcah, she also hath borne children unto thy brother Nahor. Uz his firstborn, and Booz his brother, and Kemuel the father of Aram, and Kesed, and Chazor, and Pildash, and Elaph, and Betuel. And Betuel begot Rivkah. These 8 did Milcah bear to Nahor, Abraham's brother. And his concubine, whose name was Reumah, she also bore Teba, and Gakam, and Takash, and Ma'akah. Hallelujah.
Hallelujah. So we get from this thing here, when we read off the descendants of Nahor, which was Abraham's brother, one of the most important things here is when it say Betuel begot Rivkah.
Right.
So that would make Isaac and Rivkah what? Kissing cousins. But that's just to show how our nation would be coming together.
Right.
And with that, I pray that y'all got something out of it. Shabbat Shalom.
Hold that thought.